everyone! Welcome to Artsonia's After School Art Club. Today we have a fun art project from Cassie Walker, an art teacher from Utah. Hope you enjoy the video and don't forget to have your artwork uploaded to your Artsonia gallery.
Welcome to Artsonia's After School Art Club. My name is Cassie Walker and I am an elementary school art teacher in Sandy, Utah. Today we are going to be creating a chalk baby penguin. There is also an option once you're finished to cut him out and to add him to an icy landscape. So I'm going to show you just drawing the penguin and then what it would look like to add him to his icy landscape. Let's get started. For this project, you are only going to need a Sharpie, some chalk. I have white, black, and gray. And they can either be art chalk or chalk pastels, any of those will work. A piece of gray construction paper, and I like to use tissues to help rub or smooth the chalk so I don't always have to use my fingers. To start, you can use a pencil if you don't feel comfortable using a Sharpie. I'm just going to jump right in and start with a Sharpie. And I'm going to start by creating a rainbow that kind of goes around the size of about my hand. So if I'm wondering how big to draw it, I can draw it with my finger a few times just to help me get an idea about what I want it to look like so that when I draw it, it's about the size that I practiced. Once I have my rainbow, I'm actually going to finish the body of my penguin. I'm going to take it down and he's going to come out. He's going to end up looking a little bit like a half of an avocado. Just like that. So while we're here, we're going to take care of his feet first. And we're just going to give him little claws. And to make the claws, we're going to make the letter M and then join it. So I'm going to come over here and draw my letter M again and just connect it right to his body. I'm going to go ahead and color in both of his feet. I'm going to come up to his face and I am going to draw his eyes. I'm going to start with a circle about the size of an M&M. And I'm going to add another one. Then I'm going to add a little circle inside of each of his eyes. I'll use my Sharpie to color in everything around that little circle. Right underneath, in the middle of his eyes, I am going to add a line and it will be the beginning of my beak. And again, I'm also going to color this all the way in with my Sharpie. I'm going to use the beak to help me create the outlines of his face. So I'm going to make a rainbow that starts from the beak, goes up and over his eye, and makes a stop right in the middle, right underneath his beak. And then I'm going to match it on the other side. So I loop, make a rainbow over his eye, and come right down there. The last thing we need to do with the Sharpie is add his little arms, and I am just going to add mine right here by making kind of a crooked letter V. And I'll add one on the other side. Before baby penguins lose their feathers, for those sleek feathers that adult penguins have, they are really, really fuzzy. The chalk is going to help us create that fuzzy texture. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the white, and we are going to use it to color in his face. Any of our lines that get obscured or covered up by our chalk, we will go back when we're all done and we will redraw them with our Sharpie. So I am adding white right onto the inside of his face. Then I'm going to use a finger, or I can use a tissue to help soften that up a little bit. Okay, around his head is going to be black, but his body is gray with a little bit of white right here in the middle. As baby penguins grow, they start to change the colors and lose their feathers. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white right here that shows he's growing, and take my black and finish going around his head. And I'm actually gonna stop right at the base of his head and then transition to gray. Even though my paper is gray, the chalk is actually going to make it look like he's got fuzzy feathers. So I'm going to fill in the rest of his body with this gray. I am even going to use some of my gray on top of my white to mix that together. Now I'm going to take a finger, I'm going to find a cleanish finger, and I'm going to use it to blend that chalk together. Okay, once my penguin is all blended in, I can tap off my chalk, and I can go back and I can redraw the lines that have gotten covered up with my Sharpie. If you want to seal that chalk so it doesn't keep rubbing off, you can always spray your penguin with a little bit of cheap hairspray. One idea you can do is take your penguin and cut him out and glue him onto a background of dark blue. You could even tear some white pieces of paper to create some icebergs for him to go live on. As a finishing touch, you can even add a little bit of gray chalk right under your penguin's feet to make it look like he has a little bit of a shadow underneath him on the snow. Thanks for creating with me today. Again, I'm Cassie Walker, and I will see you next time.